Instacarters, multi-appers, what's up? So today it's raining real hard where I'm at. So as you guys know, I drive to my area because they're going to be using these apps a lot in this weather. And then you just get out there. A lot of people don't like to work in this kind of weather. Um, so you have free reign of everything that drops. So, and you want to make it easy on yourself. You can do it. You can still do the. I still make my 275 a day on average. Sometimes over three. Sometimes 250, 225. But it's been averaging about 275. And if you saw what I turned down, you'd be like, "Man, Daryl, you're stupid." But I turned down 130 the other day at Costco, though. It was at Costco. Had it been anywhere else, I would have probably taken it. Maybe, I wouldn't have taken it if it was like Dollar Tree or not. But those stores don't have expensive items, so the batches never pay that much. You got to remember, go to stores where the product is expensive. That way the batches will, because everything's done on revenue share, right? So if you have a store full of cheap crap, all the batches are going to be crap. They're going to be low. They're going to be low. Even if they tip, it's still going to be low because the revenue share is low, unless they're really tipping good. But the people that shop at those cheap stores, they're not tippers. They're not big tippers. They tip, but they're not big tippers. You want to go where the big tippers are, which is the boutique grocery stores like Gelson's and those kind of places. But it's coming down. This rain is coming down out here. All right, but you got to know, if you can handle the bad weather, then people are going to use DoorDash more, obviously, because nobody wants to get dressed and get out and get into this. They'd rather pay you. So you're going to get all the little droppings today. And for me, in the beginning of the week, to do the multi-app thing, I try to do a lot of lift. So I'll be doing a lot of lift today, and that way I can cherry pick the batches that I take. Because if I can knock lift out, there's a batch right there, $12. You know, um, and by the way, on the big batches, you got to weigh them out. You have to weigh them out to see if the hourly wage works. I've turned down 60 and 70 and $80 batches, not too often, but if you have a $70 batch and it's 70 items, you're going to have two carts, and let's say it's a double. You're going to have two carts, one person. It's probably going to take you a couple hours, especially if it's a Costco. And you might have to leave a cart and then fill up another cart and roll through the line and all that stuff. You got to weigh out the time that it's going to take you. That's the one thing that's experience with this job is once you see the gig, you can kind of weigh it out in your mind. Okay, this is going to take me this. I know how checkout's like, blah, 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 blah. This is going to take me this long, and you're usually right. You're usually right. And the timer's usually right on your shop. Unless you have stuff out of stock and you've got to talk to and you take pictures and all that stuff, that's going to take time. So in the time it might take you to do a $75 or $95 batch, 2 hours, let's say 2 hours, and you made good money, you made $45 an hour, which is cool. It took you 2 hours to do a $90 batch. Okay, in the 2 hours, I could probably run 3 or 4 20s. Ones that are like $20 for 10 items, 2 miles, singles. I'd rather have fun and make that $80 in 2 hours and you made 90. That's cool. I want you to make your money. But You see, I'm trying to make things easy on myself. I really don't want to be in Costco, and Costco has a thing where they move shit around all the time, and it's like, I'm just not trying to go in the store, and I don't know, and a lot of the employees are jaded from so many Instacarters being rude. So when you go to ask them, you got to be with kid gloves. Hey man, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm trying to, they look at you like you haven't looked for it before, and you just came right to them first. And it's like, man, I've been trying to find this. I'm just asking. I'm just trying to be polite, and I'm not trying to deal with that. I'm trying to make this job easy. Make it easy on yourself. All right, and do the numbers with. If you have an electric car, I'm talking about driving 20 minutes to get to an area that where the traffic is less, the deliveries are more houses, the stores have wider aisles, they're newer, it's not as crowded. To drive that 20 minutes, do you think it's worth it? I do. I think it's worth it to just drive away from the congested city areas where the deliveries, the shops don't take that long. Once you know how to shop, you kind of know the way grocery stores are laid out. You can do it. It's the checkout, and then the delivery, and the parking, and the apartments, and the elevators. I'm not interested in that. I don't want to sign up for that garbage. Same with DoorDash. I'm not going to go to a busy restaurant, sit there and wait, and then wait in line with other DoorDashers while they tell me it's going to be 5 more minutes. It's going to be 5 more minutes. It's going to be 5 more minutes. And pretty soon, my $12 DoorDash order has become an hour. $12 an hour? I'm not trying to do that. So DoorDash, out of all four of the apps, worst app. The the way the app is set up is cool though. I like the way they have it laid out. But all that pressure for your acceptance rate, trying to scare you into being dedicated to them, it's like, come on. I mean, the only thing I have to say about DoorDash is if you did DoorDash exclusively full time, you could probably make a steady 225 a day. But you're going to drive all over the place. You better have an electric car, and you got to be a top dasher. You have to dash whenever you want. You can't have that jump in on the schedule crap, and then they try to pull you to a different area. It's just a bullshit app, and they all have their downfalls. But the upswing is once you figure it out, how to just grab the jobs that pay the good hourly wage. It's all you have to do. You don't have to wait around and feel like, man, I need a big batch. I need a big batch. We all want that. And you're going to get those. They're going to cross your phone. But for the most part, you just go for the hourly wage. The hourly wage. They told us that in the very beginning. They don't mention it anymore on these apps because so many people do videos on waiting for big batches. And, I'm not going to take that small shit. I only do big batches. Big batches. Okay? You're going to do 3 big batches a day. And if they're 360s, you just made 180 or you made 200 and you only had to do 3 batches. Okay? I'd rather stay active, go in and out of the stores, have people in and out of my car, and be constantly working. I don't want to be sitting. When I sit, I fall asleep in my car. And then the phone buzzes and I look at it and I go, okay, I'll take it or I won't. But I missed out on good batches like that. I don't want to sit around. The whole idea of doing these apps is not to sit around and wait for the big jobs. That's what everybody else does. Your job is to keep your hourly wage going continuous. I want to be out 10 hours and I want to make $30 per hour. It's simple. That's the simple end of it. That's why a lot of the Uber Eats I turned down. I'm gonna take $7 Uber Eats, and I know I'm gonna have to wait a second being in a busy Starbucks, and then I always keep Instacart on because any food pickup delivery is subject to cancel if a good batch comes in. I don't care what my acceptance rate. I can give less than a shit about acceptance and completion. And if a $30 for 20 items single with a mile or two delivery comes in, and I'm on a $10 Starbucks, I can tell you, old Daryl ain't getting your coffee. Trip, cancel, and I go do the batch. I'm not playing games with these people. You have to understand, when you do this, this is your business. You're the independent contractor. That's what you signed up to be, an independent contractor. A lot of people don't know what independent contractor means, but it tells you in the phrase, in the title, independent contractor. You contract different jobs as an independent person. You are you just one guy. This is my business. You want your food? Pay me. If you don't, I'm not taking it, and I'll wait for the next one. That's what you have to understand. You're an independent contractor. So the app is, the people that are coding the app and have the ideas for the app, they want you loyal to them. They want their deliveries done. And I get it. That's cool. Here's what Uber does to try to keep you dedicated. Unless you take every ride, they won't give you any upfront information. Okay, unless it's Uber Eats, which they have to tell you. They have to tell you where you're picking up, where you're going when you take the job. They really don't have to tell you where you're going, but they have to tell you the pickup. Uber just says your pickup, your ride, it'll just say like 7 minutes away. Won't tell you any other information except your pickup. Uber Eats tells you the destination, the delivery destination, but that's how they get you. So you know what I do? I don't take Uber rides unless it's really, really slow. And then when I do take the ride, as soon as I take it, I don't even move my car. I text them right there. I can only do local rides. Are you local? If they don't answer me, I cancel the ride. If they do, they'll tell me where they're at. They're cool. They're a cool person. Then I'll take the ride and I'll do it, because Uber rides pay more, way more than Lyft. So you have to understand, when you're doing this job with all the apps, you're an independent contractor. So get it into your frame of mind. No, you guys have the jobs. You need me. I don't need you. I can go get a job anywhere. I only need you because you pay more. The apps, if you do it right, they pay more than some job that I could get as a CNA or something like that. You have to understand, you're an independent contractor. So treat it like that, right? So if you're sitting in Starbucks and there's 3 other DoorDashers or 2 other people, and you got to push your way to the front, you got to, hey, you got an order for Jimmy S., I'm not putting any priority. My Instacart is still on. And I'm on the app. Like while I'm waiting, I get out, I push Uber aside or whatever, DoorDash or whatever it is. And I have Instacart up and I'm flipping through it. That food delivery is subject to cancel at any time. And I'm sorry to the customer, and it's messed up. But in this case, see, the customer service doesn't start until you actually have the food, have the product. That's when the customer service starts. But until that starts, sorry, customer, this is something you need to take up with these apps that don't want you multi-apping. Because if they would just allow it, then you could schedule yourself like say when you're on a Lyft, if I'm on a Lyft ride and I see a nice batch come in, bam, I can grab it and I know, okay, I'll drop this guy off and I'll go do the batch. But you can't do that, because if you do that, Instacart deactivates you for driving away from the batch after you take it. So Instacart has their little thing. Lyft has their little thing. Their Lyft's thing is basically just paying you garbage, just $20 an hour. to do rides. If you did them all day, you'd make 20 bucks an hour. So 10 hours, 200 bucks, and a lot of driving, a lot of rides. So that's their thing. They just give the electric vehicle bonus. So like I wouldn't do Lyft in a gas car or a hybrid or whatever. Why? You're going to make about $150 a day, and you're going to tear the car up. So it doesn't make any sense. But with the bonus, you can do little teeny rides, little 5-minute rides. It doesn't put miles on you. It's usually a single person, easy rides, and you do about 8 to 10 of them a day. And by the end of the week, grab another 150. It makes your hourly, it turns your hourly wage into, I think, like 35, something like that, $35 an hour. And it's really raining out here. So, but anyway, that's how I run this thing. I'm an independent contractor. Today, I got a late start. Talked with my mom for about an hour or so. That's another thing when you do this. If you do it like I do, like a lot, take when you have time, to do the personal things, cut everything else off and take that time and do it. It's important, spend time with your kids, your parents. Don't work your life away. Don't be a slave to these apps. The work is continuous. It's always there. As soon as you turn it on and go to your area, the work will be there. Uh, like I said, if you guys want to know where I do this stuff, Ventura County, anywhere from where I live, kind of like a little bit north of there, like anywhere from Calabasas, Woodland Hills, all the way up to Ventura, to the beach up in Ventura. That's the area that I like to work. And there's a lot of, that's a pretty vast area, actually. And there's a lot of money in those areas. I'm not saying there's not a lot of money in the city and downtown and down in those areas, but boy, it's congested, the traffic, the parking. That's what makes it not worth it for me. I don't want to be aggravated on this job. I want to have fun with it, and I want to be paid properly for it. And the only way to be paid properly is your hourly wage. You got to pay attention to the hourly wage. Hourly wage is everything. Size of the batch, it's kind of secondary. I've already told you, you don't need to do the big batches because sometimes they end up being the same hourly wage as if you took smaller batches. Anyway, good luck to everybody. And read some of the comments. I didn't even know there's a whole bunch of comments coming in. Well, actually, I'm going to pull off here and I'll read some of the comments. But yeah, this is not a hard job. And multi-apping gives you a little bit of freedom to cherry pick. So I think today I probably do a lot of lift. Because it's raining really hard, probably a lot of small rides. I could probably do, I think I can do 20 rides. Yeah, I think I can do 20 rides today. If I do 20 today, knock out 20 tomorrow, then you just start doing Instacart. Now I'll be 10 rides away. I can knock out those. I'll do a few a day, a few at the end of the day. I'll be done on Wednesday. That'll be done with Lyft, right? That's how you do it. You take care of Lyft. You don't have to turn Lyft on any. You just turn it off. Then you just work on Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Instacart. Instacart's gonna be what it is now. Let me look at some of these comments, and then I'm just trying to find a place to stop my car, man. See, look at all these people are home. It's a holiday today. There's gonna be a lot of orders. I'm gonna turn DoorDash on and do this thing, man. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. hourly wage is $30 an hour. I don't do Spark. Um, but the average batch that I take, it's hard to say because they range from usually 20 is the lowest I want to take, but I'll take like 17 if it's just 5 or 6 items running there real quick, and then you do it, and it's a mile away. Something like that. You're in and out of the store in 5 minutes. The delivery's 10 minutes. It's 15 minutes for $17. Those you got to take. I know they look small. The number looks small, but $17 in 15 minutes is $68 an hour contractual. I'm not saying you're going to get another one for 17 and then another one for 17, another one for 17. You're going to do 15, 15, 15. It doesn't work like that. It averages. It averages. You see what I'm saying? So just do it right. Do the right thing. Give good customer service, and you'll be all right. So good luck.